So guys, what you just saw there, man, was one of your feminine men, right? Feminine men today means that you're a man, you're a man, right? A man, but have a lot of feminine ways. So essentially, just imagine a man that is gay but is straight. I don't know how else I can put it, right? This man has, I believe, he has a girlfriend, but he has the mannerisms of a male that swings the other way, right? And this is a trend that we're about to see. I'm just letting y'all know this is the trend that we're about to see. I always thought, Dennis Rodman was one of those people, man. When we first saw this stuff, we saw this back in the 90s with Dennis Rodman, right? Dennis Rodman had a lot of men and a lot of women questioning his sexuality. Hey, well, does he swing that way? Is he that guy? Is he, what is he, right? Come to find out, the brother ain't what we thought he was going to be or what he was, right? For some of us, our point of view of Dennis Rodman was, hey, well, he's not doing this because, he actually swing that way. He's just doing this for attention. And that's what I got out of it. When I saw Dennis Rodman, I thought the brother was just doing this just because, right? You start to see a trend, right? Now we see a bunch of Dennis Rodmans. I don't think it's, just for clout anymore. I think it's a little bit more. And, and now we have a lot of your sisters that sit up here and say, well, a lot of your brothers today are down low. And, me personally, I don't think so. We do have some brothers out here that's pushing this trend, but I honestly believe that we have way more straight males than we do males like this. I will sit here and tell you that this is my generation that started this. My generation started this stuff. You look at your little Uzis. You look at Playboy Cardi. You got people like Lil Yachty that would dress a certain way, that would give off feminine vibes, but yet a lot of people look at them as gangsters. These are your so-called gangsters. These are your so-called gangsters. These are your so-called people, man, who talk about this hard life. But when we fast forward, we talking about somebody that's like Young Thug, who's out here putting on dresses and all this stuff. And this is where we have a lot of feminine men trend starts. This is where the trend of feminine men starts. We have men saying it's okay to paint your fingernails. We have a lot of men that's saying it's okay to wear dress. It's okay to wear these female purses. It's okay to put on fingernails. People, are we not understanding that this is pretty much starting to become people? Are we not understanding this is pretty much your modern day drag queening? We are accepting this stuff, right? When I was younger, back in middle school, man, we had a bunch of people, a bunch of boys that wore the little brother's backpack, that wore the little sister's backpack. And that was like a trend back in 8th grade. Now that trend only lasts about a year or two. After that, those people stopped that. But it's like, as we getting older, now we have men wearing purses. Like, you look at Lil Uzi. When I first saw this picture, Lil Uzi, I said, yo, what in the world is this? What is this? Right? What is this? Right? Because Lil Uzi, he does a lot of stuff, right? And we all know Lil Uzi. And we all know, man, he has a lot of feminine mannerisms. But we have a lot of men that sit up here and say, man, that's just style now. Since when was it okay for a man to wear a purse? Since when did men actually start wearing purses? Since when did men start actually painting their nails? So look, it was okay for a man to wear a purse. Now we have men painting their fingernails. Now we have men wearing crop tops, wearing skirts. And it's just like, okay, so we're just knocking down the masculinity in men at this point. A good some of your men today that are quote unquote masculine, but having a lot of feminine mannerisms, moving like a woman, acting like a woman. And then you look at some of your men today, I mean, you got your men that are quote unquote thugs that get upset for the smallest things and want to fight you. I say that's a feminine trait, because you can't even women sit up here. Women are known to sit up here and fight each other when they just can't even come to an agreement on something. Any man that can't hold a conversation with you without getting upset with you and fighting you and all that, it's an issue. Well, you know what? Hey, because you're right, I want to go ahead and fight you now. Hey, because you know what? Because you did something to me, instead of just simply understanding what happened and why it happened, I'm gonna just sit on here and fight you and then ask questions last. That's feminine traits. Not understanding the situation, but wanting to sit over here and try to be violent, try to fight, and then ask questions last, and then want to sit over here and say, I'm sorry that I smashed a bottle across your head. I'm sorry that I did this to you. I'm sorry I did that to you. When you could have just sat here and simply said, well, what's the problem? Well, why are we doing this? Why are we doing that? That is similar to what you see today with men sitting over here putting on fingernails polish, putting on purses and stuff. A lot of your men, some of your men today are transitioning over into being a woman without being a woman. You have some men today, man, that claim to be men, that say, you know, hey, I stand on men business, I'm this, I'm that, yet they got fingernail paint. Yet they're wearing purses. Yet they're wearing dresses, right? And when you look, like I said, your biggest one will be Young Thug, right? Your biggest one will be Young Thug, right? A lot of you people say that brother don't swing that way. And look, even I will tell you, you know, hey, I feel like this is just a Dennis Rodman thing. He has some Dennis Rodman stuff going on. Since when was that okay to do any of that stuff? It's never been okay to do any of that stuff. So now you have women that sit up here and say, well, you know what? A lot of your black men are down low. And right, and look, I defend black men. I'm gonna defend black men until the day I die. I'm gonna defend black men until the day I die. Because once again, it's the women, it's the men that these women deal with, right? It's the men that these women lay down with. They want to sit up here and say a lot of your men are down low. I don't think a lot of your brothers are down low. I don't think a lot of your men in America are down low. Let's just be real. There's a lot of your men that are heterosexual males. But we're living in a time where a lot of people are trying to make you accept a certain way of thinking. A lot of people are trying to make you agree with a certain way of living. And it's like, man, look, if you want to live that way, then that's fine. But we can't try to push this onto the world. And this is what a lot of people are trying to do, i.e. this video.
This is a really lovely point, and I'd love to explore it. I think the world would be a much better place if we encouraged men in general to show their emotions, to not be afraid to cry, to experience their emotions and express them outwardly, to, from a very early age, play with whatever it is that they want to play with.
And I was talking to my girlfriend about this, man, and I told her, I said, man, listen, right? Because she was saying, you know, y'all men don't like to cry, da. As a man, you're supposed to show how resilient you are. You should show how you're able to overcome a bad situation. That's what you're supposed to do as a man. Not be a female and sit over here, oh, baby, man, I did this at work, and, you know, work was so hard, man. Nobody want to hear that from a man. Nobody want to hear that from a man. And, you know, she's sitting over here saying, well, you know, what's the problem with men crying? What's the problem with men crying, right? You know, y'all try to be overly masculine with this, you know, y'all can't show y'all emotions, da. As a man, you're not supposed to. As a man, you're not supposed to. And that goes back to what I was saying. As a man, you got to show how resilient you are. You got to show how you're able to overcome obstacles. Because as a man, that's what you're supposed to do. Because as a man, that's what you're supposed to do. You're supposed to give your wife, your girlfriend, a girl a shoulder to cry on. Not the other way around, right? Now, of course, you know, some men, it happens, right? Some men are going to cry. Some men are going to get to the point, man, where it's just hard for them, right? Hey, if that's what you got to go do, if you got to go talk to somebody, go do that. Go do that, because that's where your mental health comes into play. But for a lot of men, if you got your mental health in check, but it's just hard, but, you know, life for you is just hard at that moment, dog, crying ain't going to do anything for you. And this is why I try to tell other men, this is why I try to tell my girlfriend, this is why I try to tell other women. As a man, there's just no room for you to cry. Because as a woman, you're going to lose respect for that man. As a woman, you're going to lose respect for that man. If a man does what a female does, oh, well, you know, hey, baby, look, here's my issues that I have at my job every day, women are going to sit over here and be like, man, yo, this dude cries and complains too much. I don't want to be around this. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to be around this. He's supposed to be the head of the household, but yet he's crying more than me. Yet he's complaining more than me. That is not how it's supposed to be. Period. Once again, men can feel some type of way. It's okay to freaking cry once in a while. But if you're a man, you're constantly crying, you're constantly bringing up your issues to a woman, cut it out. Now, you're talking about in this situation, He's saying, man, for your men, hey, be vulnerable, almost act as he is acting, because once again, this is a feminine man. This is a man that's showing feminine ways. A lot of your people in America want you to act this way as a man, and that's just not going to slide. For you men that are in your late 40s, that are 50 years of age, that are 60 years of age, since when was it okay to, wear a purse, paint your fingernails, wear a skirt, wear your little sister's backpack? Since when was that okay? To me, you're pushing something. You're pushing something on men that shouldn't be there, right? You look at the men in the 50s. You look at the men in the 50s and the 60s. They're not the same men that you see today. They're not the same men that you see today. You look at some of the stuff that Kevin Gates doing. You look at NBA YoungBoy. You look at Playboy Cardi. You look at Little Uzi. You look at Little Yachty. They're trying to make some of this stuff okay when it's not okay. Because because at this point, once again, you're picking up traits of women. I'm gonna be real with you. A lot of these men today, I'm gonna be real with you. Some of these men today are just picking up traits of women, and it's because you have men like this who trying to say we need to normalize straight men being feminine. In other words, we need to normalize straight men being. That's pretty much all. That's pretty much what it translates to. Because we have men picking up mannerisms of women. We have men trying to dress like women today. You didn't see that in the 50s or the 60s. And even the men that were swinging the other way in the 50s and 60s, they weren't doing some of the stuff that you see today. Now they're trying to push this stuff on kids. And you'll see what I'm talking about.
Regardless of what society tells you that the gender should be for that specific toy, the world would be a much different place. I certainly would not have as many bigots on my page telling me to go.
I'm my fault for pausing again, but another thing, you have a man telling other people, hey, you should be able to play whatever toy you want to play with, regardless of what the society tells you. People listen, and this is a thing that's been going on for a long time, where people say, hey man, look, we should have Walmart, Target, and Toys R Us. Instead of sitting over here having a boys section of toys and a girls section of toys, we should just mix them together, right? And that becomes an issue because for the longest, we knew what boys' toys were, we knew what girl toys were. Men that are in their late 40s, that are in their 50s and 60s, can y'all please tell me what toys were y'all playing with? Were y'all not playing with these toys? Were y'all not playing with army men? Was that not what y'all were playing with? Were y'all going over here playing with Barbie dolls? No, y'all weren't. Because those were for women. And then you have boys, they had toys for boys. Then they had toys for boys, which were your army men. What we're trying to do now is we're trying to sit up here and say, hey man, look, of course we have some people, men, that are born one way, but think another way. And they're trying to sit up here and say, well, you know what, since we have people like that, we should just make toys exclusive for any and everybody and stop trying to put a label on things, which we never had a label on it. We never had a label on boy toys and girl toys. We just automatically knew this is for boys, this is for girls. But now, once again, we're trying to intertwine them. And it's getting to the point where we're going to have to start desensitizing some of these kids. Some of these kids are going to have to start being desensitized. Because now we're going to have kids coming up here saying, well, you know what, hey, dad, hey, shoot, I want to paint my fingernails. Well, son, that's not, you shouldn't want to do that. That's more of a woman's thing. Well, Little Yachty does it. Well, Little Uzi does it. So why I can't do it? Now you got to do some desensitizing. Now you got to sit up here and say, well, here's why, boom, 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 boom. And then, because you got these kids sitting over here going to school and they thinking this stuff is okay. You got these kids looking at TV, watching some of these people, they thinking that stuff is okay. And this because that's what's being pushed today. That is what's being pushed today.
Did you think I could shoot it now? Silly!
Hey, do your dance real quick. Huh? Let's see the What?
Do it!
You do the dance, man. You do it. Bust that ass right now, man. Come on, girl, man. Do it.
Do it!
Yup. Yes. Oh, yes.
Alright, now you gotta do it.
Hey, well, you know what? Hey, it's okay if you want to paint your fingernails as a man, as a straight man. It's okay if you want to wear a dress and a skirt as a straight man. And some people want to sit over here and talk about Prince. Hey, man, listen. Don't get me wrong. I thought Prince was playing for the other team too. But like I said, it was almost, that wasn't the norm, right? What Dennis Rodman was doing and what Prince was doing, it wasn't the norm. It was attention grabbing. It was attention seeking. Now it's not the same. When you look at people like Adon Ross, when you look at people like Speed, look at their audience, especially Speed. Look at their audience. Look at these people's audience and look at some of the stuff that these people do. These people are for the kids. Yet you got Speed sitting over here making a song about performing oil on another man. And guess who follows him? A bunch of kids. So once again, they're only making this shit more acceptable. They're only making this stuff more acceptable.
To hell as I do right now. And furthermore, I think that things like misogyny, homophobia, transphobia wouldn't necessarily exist because of the simple fact that from a very early age, many people teach men to actually hate women. And here's why. All of those things that I expressed before, showing your emotions, allowing yourself to show those outwardly, crying, playing with things like Barbies and dolls and all of those things, those are inherently feminine. And we teach men from a very early age to hate anything that's feminine. I cannot tell you how many people have come up in my comment section and said, if your parents slapped that out of you, or if your parents corrected that behavior in you, the feminine behavior, mind you, that you probably wouldn't have turned out that way, or your dad was gone very often, so you were around your mom and you were modeling your mom. This all just boils down to extreme misogyny and teaching men that liking anything that is inherently feminine is wrong, which is absolutely ludicrous. So yes, I agree with this comment, but I think the bigger picture idea is teaching everyone to stop hating women.
And once again, right, people, listen, what people have to understand is anybody can call you homophobic for anything. Anybody can call you transphobic for anything. What we have to understand is anytime somebody hits you with a phobic, that means you hate something. Homophobia means the hatred of gays. Homophobic means the hatred of gays. Transphobic means the hatred of gays. Because I mean, to be honest with you, they all fall in the same category. I'm just be real with you, they all fall in the same category. However, right, if you sit here and say, well, look, you look like a freaking female, but guess what? I know you're not. I don't want to date that. I want to date somebody that was born a woman. You will then become a transphobic. They will literally label you a transphobic. When you talk about women, you got a lot of your black women today. They will sit over here and call a black man gay for simply just disagreeing with a woman. If you said, when you tell a black woman, hey, look, you know, maybe you shouldn't be going out here, man, just sleeping with any and everybody. You know what I'm saying? You're already 3 kids deep, you know what I'm saying, with 3 baby fathers. Let's not try to make it, let's try to make sure that 4th man is a good man to you. You know, hey, let's try to make sure let's try to make sure you get to that. You tell a woman in the community that, they will call you gay. They will, say that, man, you like men, all of this stuff. So once again, today, people just throw that word around. So once again, right? They will label you. They will label you homophobic or transphobic simply for just disagreeing with something that it's something that they agree with. This idea that, from at an early age, men are taught to hate women. No man in this world is taught to hate women. I'm gonna just be real with you. No man is taught in this world to hate women, because who's teaching him? Who's teaching him that? Who is teaching that kid that? So now, of course, you got in the hood, or you got some men saying, hey man, we treat these women this way. You got rap songs that's, saying, hey, we treat women this way, this way, this way, this way. Once again, that's not men hating women. That's what they grew up on. That's what they see. A lot of your men in these hoods do not have guidance, do not have that male role model, right? So they only treat women how they were raised. They only treat women how they see fit, right? So you got somebody like, let's just say some of your rappers, Gucci. You look at And I'm talking about I'm talking about some of the old music. You see these women, once again, they don't hate these women, right? They don't hate these women because they try to say, well, you know what, these rappers, these rappers encourage, treating women a certain way. Well, once again, we gotta understand, these women that a lot of your men rap about, these women are consenting to this stuff. These women are saying it is okay to talk to me this way. It is okay to talk about me this way. So a lot of you women are accepting some of this stuff. A lot of you women are accepting this stuff. So then you got rappers that sit up here and shoot, man, I'm running through these damn women and these women don't have no self-respect. I'm gonna make a song about them. Right? And this is where you get, well, hey, you got your men that hate on women. Men don't hate on women. Men do not hate on women. We got to cut that out. It's almost a narrative that people want to push, man, just to push their agenda. And like I said, man, it's just a narrative that a lot of people trying to push. Well, hey, man, there's a hatred on women. A lot of men hate women because we're trying to keep men away from being feminine and acting feminine. Brother, like, no. If you're a boy, your father's going to teach you how to be a man. If you're a woman, if you're a girl, your mother's going to teach you how to be a woman. If you're a boy and you're sitting over here wearing a purse, if you're a boy, you're sitting over here putting on fingernail polish. If you're a boy, you're sitting over here sounding like a woman. A man is going to correct that because that's not something that men are taught to do. That's not something that men are raised to do, to have feminine traits. No, you can't have two feminine people in the household. You cannot have two feminine people in the household. If you're in a relationship, you can't have two feminine people in a relationship. That's just not going to work. You're not going to have two feminine people in a relationship. Me telling my son, hey, hey, man, straighten up when you run. Stop, you know what I'm saying? Stop flaying your arms out and running like this and stuff. That is feminine. If you running like this as a man, a man is going to sit here and say, oh, that's a feminine trait. And to sit up here, and for him to sit up here and say, hey, man, there's nothing wrong with being feminine and or whatever, trying to say that, boys are taught to hate on women because we don't want our sons to be acting like a woman. That is false. You can't sit over here and say, well, in a sense, you're not trying to be feminine, yet you sound like a woman, yet you walk like a woman. That is feminine. That's not me hating on it. It's just me simply saying, hey, son, straighten up when you walk. Yo, son, stop painting your fingernails. Women do that stuff. Hey, yo, son, let's not do that stuff to your fingernails. Hey, yo, son, stop painting your fingernails. It's not something that men do. Hey, yo, son, stop wearing a purse. That's not something that men do. Hey, yo, son, stop wearing that. Don't wear that dress. Men don't do that. That's not men hating on women. That's nowhere. I don't even know how that even correlates to being misogynist. It's just simply a man saying, hey, bro, we need more men in this world. We need more men in this world. We don't need more Uzis. We don't need more Playboy Cardis. We don't need no Princes. We don't need no Dennis Rodmans. We need men, right? And when you had Dennis Rodman doing stuff like that, when you had Prince doing stuff like that, it went against the norm. You didn't see shit like that back in the day. Now, of course, you're going to see it a lot. And that's because I honestly feel like you're having a rise of a lot of feminine men and a lot of men that's saying, hey, well, you know what? Hey, shoot, I don't mind, playing that feminine role. So you have men that are trying to push that. That's trying to make that shit okay when it's not okay. It's not okay because, once again, it's going to get to the point, man, where there's not going to be any masculine men. It's going to get to the point where there's not going to be any masculine men. You don't sit up here and hear other men talk about women, hey women, y'all should be a bit more masculine. Well, you have independent women that have the masculine trait in a sense, but they're not trying to pick up that, oh, well, let me be a man. You just have women that want to look like women, dress like women, all that stuff, but have the traits and have an attitude of a masculine man. and that's not okay. And that's not okay. A man should be a man, and a woman should be a woman. You know what I'm saying? And once again, listen, people, I don't have nothing against people who play for the other side. That is your life. That is your life. But to sit over here and try to say, hey, well, you know what, little boys, hey, it is okay if y'all want to put on a dress. It is okay if y'all want to play with a Barbie doll. It is okay that y'all want to, you know what I'm saying, paint your fingernails. That's going against the grain. You're not raising a man. At that point, you're not raising a man. And I'm telling you right now, let's just say if everybody in the world say, you know what, we're going to listen to what that man just said. I'm telling you right now, all of your men today, you're not going to be raising any more men. You're not going to be raising any more men. At this point, it's just going to be a bunch of feminine men. A bunch of men. That's what you're going to see. That's what you're going to see. But, you know, hey, generally, you say shit like that, you get canceled. You know, generally, you go against the grain, you go against that stuff. Oh, well, you know what? Hey, he's homophobic. Well, he's transphobic. You know, cancel him. And it shouldn't be that way. It shouldn't be that way. Because like I said, we've gotten to the point where people are sitting up here saying, well, you know what? Hey, all you have to do is to say that you're a girl. And you can go into the den and you can go to a female's bathroom. That is destructive. That is destructive. Now any man can just come up into the bathroom with my daughter. It's crazy. And this is what we're trying to push on people. This is what we're trying to push on kids. And it's just not good, man. It's not a good look. But y'all do me a favor, man. Leave me a like, leave me a comment, leave me a subscribe.
I know you trying to help it all, and I completely understand what you mean by y'all never seen a feminine man. But I am beyond feminine. Like, I don't care if a man is feminine or whatever. You can be feminine, but twerking and making your ass cheeks clap and da da da. Yeah, I feel like that's gay. Like, I don't care, and it's about me. Like, I mean, I'm bisexual or whatever, but it doesn't matter. Like, I just feel like it's a difference between being feminine and being gay. And that what I was doing was definitely being gay, girl. Thanks for the support, though. I love it.